A teenager accused in the beating death of another teen is now being charged as an adult. What we're learning about the case against Simeon Hall and the new charges he's facing.
He's being push, then I'm from the top.
A former Orlando City B soccer player is now accused of attacking a taxi driver. The victim says he has a long recovery ahead. And the battle against wildfires in California rages on. A look at the progress that firefighters are making. Good morning. The time right now is 8 o'clock. I'm David Bowden in for Ebeth Bruce-Wall. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's get your day started right away with your weather and traffic together. Real-time traffic expert Ryan Harper is joining us here. And Ryan, how are things looking? We're kind of getting to the end of the morning commute.
Yeah, still some delays that need to thin out though first, David. We are tracking a wreck along State Road 408 on the east side of Orange County, plus still seeing big turnpike delays. So we'll talk about a few of those locations coming up after weather. All
right, thanks so much. We head over to meteorologist Maureen McCann. Good morning, Maureen. We've got a lot of rain this morning. That's kind of slowing everybody down.
Yeah, and some cooler temperatures. So for people who want to break from the heat, you're getting it today. But yes, it comes at the cost of rain, especially for the morning commute. That's never a good thing. Here's a quick check of your temperatures if you're about to leave the house. Some places like Palm Coast, Ocala, you may not get out of the 70s today for your high temperatures. Everywhere else like Orlando, we're at 72. Lower 80s are projected for this afternoon. Now let's see where we have some rain on Storm Tracker 13, or maybe where there isn't any rain, because it's very broken up in coverage. As I loop this through, you'll be able to see that there are some showers just skirting along the Volusia County coast, also down by Kissimmee, St. Cloud, along Lake Toho and East Lake Toho, a little bit of rain there. And then also in and around the Tampa area, we've had some showers. Brevard County, mostly dry right now, but there is the threat of additional rain today off and on, with showers continuing to play a role in our weather because of the onshore flow developing. It's going to be a breezy day, so at the bus stop, you'll notice that strong wind. Rain will be hit or miss in coverage, and there may be some times when you just have the clouds and no rain. We'll keep that rain chance at about 60%. Let's get over to Ryan right now for real-time traffic. Ryan, where are the big issues right now?
Well, we've been tracking that wreck for you, Mo, along State Road 408 traveling westbound, and it's going to be close to Alafaya Trail, so it's going to be in the east side of Orange County. A little bit of good news, it just moved that crash off to the shoulder, so a shoulder still blocked. You can see a little bit of delay impact there moving to and from that Alafaya Trail exit. Then it clears out until you're past State Road 417, and then you're seeing some pockets of delays essentially all the way past the Executive Airport into downtown Orlando, approaching the I-4 corridor. Speaking of I-4, still pretty busy day on that eastbound side. I'm seeing delays stretching back well before now John Young Parkway. So on that eastbound side, as a matter of fact, we can calculate a travel time for you about 29 minutes. That's a pretty high number to go about 6 miles. So still about 20 plus minutes of travel time needed to get through downtown Orlando on the eastbound side of I-4. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
One of the Winter Park teens accused of beating another teen to death last year will face a judge this morning, now charged as an adult. Spectrum News 13's Bailey Myers joins us from the Orange County Jail. And Bailey, 16-year-old Simeon Hall is now facing additional charges from another beating.
He is, and David, investigators say Simeon Hall was actually on house arrest from last year's incident when he was arrested and accused of being involved in another beating of another teen. Now, we know that Hall is accused of participating in the beating of a teen at Ward Park earlier this month. We're told that teen suffered non-life-threatening injuries, but in October of 2016, investigators say Hall and another teen beat Roger Trindade, killing him. In court last month, however, Simeon and the other teenager defendant claimed the beating was in self-defense, but a judge denied that claim. Per our crime guidelines, we're not identifying the other teen, and while he spoke out, Hall was silent in court that day. Now, less than a month later, he faces another judge charged with battery and manslaughter, and we've been told he will be charged as an adult. We'll be here this morning monitoring the case as it develops. For now, I'm reporting in Orange County. Bailey Myers, Spectrum News 13.
A former Orlando City Soccer Club B player is now facing battery charges after deputies say he attacked a cab driver. Benjamin Polk is accused of beating the driver early Sunday morning after deputies said that Polk was upset with the $57 charge. Now, the taxi cab driver, Ronald Sylvian, is still recovering. He lost 2 teeth and will possibly need to have more removed.
Not problem anybody. This guy, from me, I'm lost my teeth. It's not very bad for me.
Polk was released from the Osceola City soccer team just days before the incident. Titusville police say a daycare where a baby was seriously hurt was running without a license. Investigators say 47-year-old Dawn Garcia was running the daycare out of her Little Oak Circle home. They say a family member picked up the baby from there on August 8th and rushed the child to the hospital. Investigators say that baby's injuries were consistent with shaken baby syndrome. Hospital staff notified DCF, and a neighbor who has known Garcia for years says that he was shocked to learn that she was accused of harming an infant.
I cannot see her hurting a child. I can't not see that. To me, she's wonderful.
Garcia is charged with aggravated child abuse, which is a first-degree felony. She's now out of jail on a $25,000 bond. A Sanford woman is behind bars after allegedly choking another woman and gouging out her eye. Sanford police say Quenisha Knight was arguing with the victim and then started choking her. Police say Knight then used her fingers and gouged out the victim's eye. And the victim had to undergo surgery, and she wound up losing that eye. The Louis Toledo trial continues today. Toledo is accused of murdering his wife and her kids 4 years ago in Deltona. Several witnesses testified yesterday at the St. Augustine courthouse. One witness says Toledo woke him up early to help him move Yesenia Suarez's car. That's the morning that she and her children disappeared. Now, that man described Toledo's behavior that morning.
He was just like kind of frantic almost, I want to say.
What was he doing?
He was driving, like looking around, like just looking everywhere, just kind of like rocking back and forth. He didn't speak much to me, but he said one thing really.
What did he say?
He said he snapped.
Toledo's half-brother says that he showed up at his home upset, but he thought that he and his wife were just having an argument. Investigators also took the stand to show cleaning products and items from Toledo's wife's car that were found in a dumpster. This man, Dracaris Hill, will face a judge this morning. He's accused of firing a gun at an Orlando police officer. And we first brought you this story as breaking news yesterday morning. It happened at a shopping plaza near North Orange Blossom Trail and Clarkona Ocoee Road. A bike patrol officer says that he spotted Hill acting suspiciously. The officer confronted him and shots were fired. The suspect was hit, but the officer was not hurt. That officer is now on paid administrative leave as FDLE investigates the case. And firefighters are making progress against a number of deadly wildfires in Northern California. These fires have already killed more than 40 people, and about 100 more are still unaccounted for in Napa and Sonoma counties.
So we send the National Guard in. They've provided us with several hundred troops. They've been absolutely excellent about this because we need people. They're trained to do this. They walk through, they search. We don't want to miss a person.
Nearly a dozen wildfires are still burning. More than 217,000 acres have burned, and thousands of homes and businesses are now gone. Tens of thousands of people are still under a mandatory evacuation order. Rescuers in Louisiana have suspended the search for a missing person after an oil rig explosion. The blast happened Sunday on a lake just north of New Orleans. 7 other crew members were rescued and taken to the hospital. 3 of them are still in critical condition. The oil continued to burn after the explosion, but it was extinguished yesterday.
At this point, as you've heard, Jefferson Parish, DEQ, and the Coast Guard have advised us that they see no signs of environmental impact. In addition, members of our coastal team who have been able to make observations on the shoreline also confirm they have not seen any environmental damage.
The Coast Guard will be conducting a water quality evaluation. The cause for the explosion is still being investigated. And NFL owners are scheduled to meet today to talk about possibly requiring players to stand for the national anthem. Commissioner Roger Goodell proposed the rule change last week. Yesterday, President Trump once again spoke out against NFL players who have been protesting during the national anthem.
When you go down and take a knee or any other way, you're sitting, essentially, for our great national anthem. You're disrespecting our flag, and you're disrespecting our country. And the NFL should have suspended some of these players.
The president went on to say that players should not be fired, but should be suspended for every protest. And it's 8:10 right now. It's time to head over to Ryan Harper with a look at the morning commute. And how are things going out there now, Ryan?
Dave, it's still slow going in some pockets of the I-4 corridor, especially in Seminole County on that westbound side. As you take a look at this specific camera here, that's the westbound side, very close to State Road 434. That's the Longwood area. And notice that the eastbound side completely up to speed with no major delays to report as of right now. So I'm seeing pockets of very busy traffic, not necessarily all the way through, but that's probably enough. Lake Mary, Longwood, Altamont Springs to give yourself an extra 15 minutes of travel time overall through there. Even a little bit busier downtown Orlando right now on the eastbound side of I-4 from around Johnny Young Parkway through downtown Orlando. That's about 20 extra minutes of travel time. Plus, both directions of State Road 408 approaching the I-4 corridor busy as well for a couple of miles. Not quite stop and go, but enough again to add an extra few minutes of travel time through there. Again, Lake Mary, Longwood, Altamont Springs, and the westbound side, as we're focusing most on right now. Still some rain falling in that northern portion of Osceola County, heading into Orange County along Florida's Turnpike. I'm looking at about 3 miles of pretty significant traffic. That's enough to probably add 15 minutes of travel time starting from Kissimmee 192 past at State Road 417 interchange. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford. Over to our weather center now with meteorologist Marie McCann. And Mo, on our radar here behind me, it looks like some rain is falling along the Turnpike near that Osceola Orange County line.
Yeah, that's one pocket of rain that's left over from the steadier, more widespread rain that we had earlier. It came down quite heavily in Flagler County too. Now you're just left with the breezy conditions and the gray skies as we stop by our camera off the Flagler Beach Pier. Take note of the ocean conditions, and they look pretty hazardous from this perspective, and they're going to stay that way today. Flagler County, you have a high surf advisory. You also have a wind advisory posted because those gusts may be up to 40 miles per hour today. So off and on showers when it's not raining, mostly cloudy skies and temperatures that will be a little bit cooler today, 81 at 3 o'clock, and then for the drive home, middle 70s. The drive home may also feature some rain on area roadways. Right now, anything that's showing up over land is pretty light. Ryan was just talking about that batch down by Kissimmee, Celebration, St. Cloud. A little bit heavier over towards the Tampa area to the west of Lakeland. That's where we've had some showers, and also along the Volusia County coast with one little batch just starting to get more organized to the west of Daytona Beach. You can see this shower activity. So that is the type of weather we're going to have today with the northerly flow taking over behind the front. That is going to create showers off and on as they come in off the Atlantic. So a bit unsettled for the rest of today, and temperatures that will be a little bit below average. Typically our average high is 84 degrees. We'll be below that in many neighborhoods, nowhere near the record territory. Another advisory to let you know about, the flood watch, because heavy rain may lead to flooding pretty easily in parts of northern Brevard and Volusia County. Still got a lot of moisture to work with. Even though the front itself is going to be pushing south, there will be lingering moisture behind it. And we can see that here on Storm Tracker 13 hour by hour. Can tell that some places may not see much, others, especially the eastern side of the peninsula, a bit more favored for rain, and that also could mean a few thunderstorms. We'll talk about the rest of your week's weather when I'm back in less than 10 minutes at 8:21. We'll see how long these rain chances stick around, David.
Thanks so much, Maureen. And now we're going to head over to Julie Gargata in the Webb Center with a story about Senator John McCain. Julie.
So glad you could join us.
Get your new Storm Tracker forecast is brought to you by 2020 Eyeglass Superstores, Winter Park, Melbourne, Orange City. Most glasses made within an hour or two.
For the first warning of severe weather, turn to Spectrum News 13.
Any storms moving along with torrential rain and frequent lightning.
With Storm Tracker 13, part of the largest digital Doppler network in the Southeast.
We're going for a closer inspection.
The Spectrum News 13 weather experts bring you forecasts that are clear and easy to understand every 10 minutes.
Showers beginning to at least slow down.
When it comes to technology, team, and time, only Spectrum News 13 delivers now, exclusively on Spectrum.
There's no better time to visit your Hyundai dealer for huge savings on all new vehicles like the Hyundai Elantra. Now for 0% APR plus $1,000 bonus cash. The Elantra is available with blind spot detection and rear cross traffic alert.
You won't find that on a Corolla or Civic.
And it's backed by America's best warranty.
And I'm sold.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. Now get a 2018 Elantra for $149 a month or buy with 0% APR for 60 months plus $1,000 bonus cash. Hurry in today.
Stiff, rehearsed ads with people discussing specific dollar amounts in their cases, it's not only a little distasteful, but it can be misleading. How much were their medical bills? How much did that client actually get in his or her pocket? How much could that case really have been worth? Discover the difference. Call 1-800-TRIAL-PRO or go to trialpro.com.
When it comes to dealing with chronic pain, sometimes the so-called cure can be worse than the pain itself. There's got to be a better alternative.
At Physician Partners of America, we take an integrative approach to develop a treatment plan that makes sense for you and the way you choose to live. Make an appointment with us today and begin your journey to a life without pain.
Sometimes the best medicine is more than just medication.
At Physician Partners of America, we care for you by taking an individualized approach to your pain.
Spectrum News 13 is brought to you by Hudson's Furniture.
Florida Lottery is brought to you by 1-800-TRIAL-PRO. Don't just hire an attorney, hire a trial professional.
Senator John McCain was given the National Constitution Center's Liberty Medal last night in Philadelphia. Former Vice President Joe Biden awarded him the medal, but it was his speech that has many people talking online this morning. Spectrum News 13's Julie Gargata is in the Webb Center. And Julie, what did the senator have to say?
Well, Dave, it's the warning the senator from Arizona gave about where our country may be headed as he accepted this very prestigious award. This warning where we're going, and that went viral.
To refuse the obligations of international leadership and our duty to remain the last best hope of Earth for the sake of some half-baked, spurious nationalism cooked up by people who would rather find scapegoats than solve problems.
He goes on to say that abandoning our ideals in favor of this spurious or false nationalism is as unpatriotic as any attachment to a dogma of the past. So what exactly does he mean by all that? Well, Senator McCain didn't mention anyone by name, but the LA Times attempted to break it down, saying it's a thinly veiled shot at strategist Steve Bannon and others who push the America First brand of nationalism. Now, online, some people are cheering for this speech. This person tweeted, "Thank you, John McCain." This person says, "McCain has nothing to lose. I love when politicians finally speak their real truth." This person says, "I may not agree with his political stands, but I very much respect John McCain for his long service to this country." And former Florida Governor Jeb Bush tweeted, "Outstanding speech from a remarkable public servant, true hero and patriot." Now, not everybody was moved. There were some downright mean things being tweeted as well. This person tweeted, "John McCain might as well be a Democrat. This is the perfect example of needing new blood in the GOP. True Republican values, no rhinos, or Republican in name only." Reporting from the Webb Center, I'm Julie Gargata.
A front sliding through central Florida is going to cause some higher rain chances for our Tuesday. Let you know how long this soggy pattern lasts coming up in your Weather on the Ones.
Stay on top of what's happening in your neighborhood. Follow us on Twitter, Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
It's easy to see what makes Spectrum Business the best for your business, especially next to other providers. Take internet speed. Starting at 100 meg, Spectrum Business Internet is 4 times faster than AT&T and costs less. Switch now for just $44.99 a month. And unlike other providers, Spectrum Business has no contracts, no added taxes, no hidden fees. Just call 855-339-0986 to switch. And while we're talking value, let's talk Spectrum Business Voice. With unlimited local and long distance and more free features, you get benefits AT&T charges extra for only $29.99 a month. And no other provider stacks up to that. Get 100 meg internet for just $44.99 a month when bundled with voice for just $29.99 a month. With no contracts, no taxes, and no fees. Call 855-339-0986.
Hyundai has an all-wheel drive SUV for every stage of your life. Urban adventure? That's Tucson. Taking that next step? Check out the Santa Fe Sport. Full-time chauffeuring? Your 7-passenger Santa Fe awaits. And with America's best warranty, whichever stage you're in.
You just saved me from getting a minivan. Give him some love.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. Get a Santa Fe Sport for $129 a month, or get up to $6,000 total savings, plus 2-year or 24,000-mile complimentary maintenance. Hurry in today.
If you need dentures, or your current dentures are cracked, chipped, need paste or pads to make them fit, or are uncomfortable in any way, now's the time to do something about it. Hunters Creek Dental offers same-day dentures. Make an appointment into our office at 9 a.m. and pick up your new dentures at the end of the day. Look younger, feel better, and tell tooth pain goodbye for good. Call for a free no-obligation consultation. Hunters Creek Dental Center. Call today, 407-240-1500.
Health Headlines is brought to you by Florida Hospital, ranked #1 in Orlando by U.S. News and World Report again.
Meteorologist Maureen McCampy here at 21 minutes past the hour. A lot of places woke up to rain. If you didn't have any rain for the morning commute, there will be additional chances throughout the day today, especially over at the coast. Flagler Beach looking pretty gray based on this view off the Flagler Beach Pier. And you also can see how rough the ocean looks, too. There is a high surf advisory posted there, also a wind advisory for Flagler County. So not the best day to be out on the water because of the stronger winds and the rising seas. Onshore flow strengthening to bring those winds up to 25 knots. Seas will be in the range of 7 to 9 feet for the boaters. It's all because of a front that is pushing south of the I-4 corridor this morning. Behind it, still enough moisture to keep the rain chance around. A lot of cloud cover too, and then with the surface winds coming in out of the northeast, that will produce rain off and on. You can see those lines showing up here on Storm Tracker 13, representing how we're pulling in that cooler air, at least slightly cooler air, behind this latest front. The temperatures today with the overcast, you can see it around 1 o'clock. Might be a few peaks of sun here and there, but our temperatures will be much cooler today, upper 70s and lower 80s. And of course, you'll have that rain-cooled air with any showers, and that continue through the afternoon. You can see how the eastern half of the peninsula a little bit more favored for that rain, taking us all the way through the evening commute and into the overnight hours. So that can be broken down in our county by county forecast with some cooler temperatures in the upper 70s for Palm Coast, 80 for Bunnell. Daytona Beach may not hit 80 today, with gusts that will be a little bit stronger in these communities. Same with in Brevard County. Winds may exceed 25 miles per hour. Titusville, Cape Canaveral, and Cocoa, Melbourne around 83 degrees for your Tuesday afternoon. Inland areas like Osceola County, you'll also be in the low 80s today. Travel along Florida's Turnpike could be soggy at times with periodic rain. That'll be the case across Seminole County too. 80 in Sanford, 82 for Geneva, and lower 80s will take us along the I-4 corridor over to Altamont Springs. Marion Lake and Sumter counties here, middle 80s, if not trying to get above 80 in a couple locations like Eustis and Claremont, with breezy conditions and a lot of cloud cover, but you may have a few glimpses of the sun throughout the afternoon. Same with here in Orange County for when it's not raining, perhaps a few pockets of blue sky, but the rain chances today, they're up around 60%. And we'll keep them elevated for tomorrow with that onshore flow continuing. Even Thursday, coastal showers will be likely. It's not until Friday and Saturday that we're able to drop the rain chances entirely. Sunday and Monday will bring in the chance of rain again by the end of your 7-day forecast. At that point, temperatures will be above average because our typical high for this time of the year is now 84 degrees. Rain today will keep the pollen levels down, but they'll be up again on Wednesday and Thursday as we stop by your pollen forecast. Back again in less than 10 minutes. Right now, Storm Tracker 13, Doppler radar.
Good Tuesday morning, 8:24, your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. And the story this morning has been the slick, slippery roadways that we've been seeing across Central Florida due to some of that rain that continues to fall over some locations. We've been tracking a wreck on the westbound side of State Road 408 very close to Crystal Lake Drive, which is this area right here. So it's mixing in with normal delays now. So I'm still seeing delays back to around Goldenrod Road, nearly back to the 417 interchange on that westbound side. So give yourself an extra 5 to 7 minutes. Travel time. The delays are not too bad along State Road 408. You do not need to avoid a specific roadway at this point. This is what I-4 eastbound looks like right now heading into downtown Orlando. Still seeing delays from around Johnny M. Parkway through Ivanhoe Boulevard. That's about 5 miles. Traffic, some stop and go delays as you approach State Road 408. That's going to be an update in about an extra 15 minutes. Same can be said Lake Mary, Longwood, Altamont Springs, the westbound side of I-4. Plus still raining along Florida's Turnpike. Maureen McCann was just warning you about that this morning. And essentially from around 192 past State Road 417, you're looking at some delays that'll again add about 15 to 20 extra minutes of travel time. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
Medical experts are sharing 2 ways to help prevent a stillbirth. Now, one is to count the kicks. Researchers say knowing your baby's normal movement is important, and any decrease in fetal movement should prompt a doctor visit. And 2, don't sleep on your back. Multiple studies found that sleeping on your back can decrease blood flow, increasing the risk of a stillbirth. And experts say if you're a busy bee, try exercising in blocks. They say 10 minutes 3 times a day counts towards the recommended 150 minutes of moderate exercise a week. The trick is you have to work hard enough to get your heart rate up. Ophelia is now the most powerful storm on record to have ever been so far east in the Atlantic. The post-tropical storm hit Ireland's west coast yesterday, reportedly killing 3 people. Hundreds of thousands of people lost power, and schools remain closed today. For the first time ever, scientists have observed the collision of 2 neutron stars. Now, this is a NASA animation of what happened. It was caught on Earth-based telescopes back in August. Now, 2 neutron stars entered a death spiral and collided. Neutron stars are very small and dense. And scientists say the collision released more energy than our sun has released during its entire lifetime. Ahead on Spectrum News 13, incredible stories of recovery after Hurricane Irma. How people across the state of Florida are moving forward more than a month later. Then, the University of Florida continues preparing for white nationalist Richard Spencer to speak on campus. How the governor is now getting involved. You're watching Spectrum News 13. We'll be right back.
Have a Wawa hoagie with mac and cheese, a Wawa hoagie with chicken noodle, with broccoli cheddar soup, or with chicken corn chowder. However you hoagie, Wawa makes yours fresh. Get a junior hoagie with any small superside for just $5. The $5 hoagie combo, only at Wawa.
So glad you could join us.
Get your news weather now. Follow us on Twitter, Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
The 2017 Nissan Rogue, with available automatic emergency braking that could help stop for you. And motion-activated liftgate. You still got some tricks left in you. Take on today the Nissan Rogue family. Lease today, starting at just $159 per month, or save up to $10,760 on select models.
Head to your local Hyundai dealer for some incredible savings. Now for 0% APR plus $500 bonus cash. It's packed with features like blind spot detection with rear cross traffic alert and a class exclusive hands-free smart trunk. You won't find that on an Accord or Camry.
Do you like it?
Is that even a question?
All backed by America's best warranty.
This just feels better.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. Now get a 2018 Sonata for $159 a month or buy with 0% APR for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash. Hurry in today.
I'm John Overchuck with the Overchuck Law Firm. The truth is, any lawyer can do an okay job on your personal injury case. The real question is, when your case gets complicated or you're seeking full value, experience and reputation is what matters. Our experience has allowed us to recover over $17 million so far this year. So if you've been involved in a car, truck, motorcycle, or any type of accident, let us put our experience to work for you. And as always, we care enough to come to you.
Faster warnings, accurate forecasts. Storm Tracker 13, part of the largest Doppler radar network in the Southeast. Only on Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
It's here. And here. Oh, it's definitely here. Wawa mobile ordering is here, so you can order your favorites from pretty much anywhere. Get the Wawa app to get started. Gotta have a Wawa.
Recovery is still slow in parts of Florida 5 weeks after Hurricane Irma. But we're also hearing stories of determination and survival. Then protests at the University of Florida ahead of a speech by white nationalist Richard Spencer. How the governor is stepping in to try and keep things peaceful. And it's crunch time for teens applying for college. We have some advice on how to help them get to their dream school. Good morning. I'm David Bowden in for Beth Bruce-Wall this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. Let's get your day started right away with your Weather on the Ones forecast.
Here we are at 31 past the hour. Meteorologist Maureen McCann. A lot to talk about today with your Weather on the Ones because we have the chance of rain and some rough boating conditions settling in too behind our front as onshore winds strengthen. You can see what that's doing for the surf over in Daytona Beach with our camera at the Arun Cam, that is, the Ocean Deck Restaurant. Showers will be scattered about today. The steadiest rain pushing south along that front, but northeasterly winds taking over behind it is going to make it pretty blustery over at the coastline. Wave heights will be around 2 to 3 feet in the nearshore waters. That rip current threat is going to be high. Here are your tides, Daytona Beach and Cocoa Beach. We'll look at travel weather next at 41 past the hour.
Good Tuesday morning, 8:31. Now your current time. I'm Brian Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. It continues to be a slippery day outside along the roadways because of some rain that fell earlier this morning and some that's still falling right now. As you take a look at the southern portion of Orange County, Osceola County as well, you can see some busy roadways where some of the rain is falling. So let's take a look at a couple of those locations, including Florida's Turnpike. If you're traveling northbound, coming up from Kissimmee into Orange County, I'm still looking at about 3 to 4 miles of pretty significant traffic delays there. Give yourself an extra 15 minutes of travel time. This is what it looks like near the Disney attractions right now. You can see we're starting to see a pocket of eastbound traffic very close to Disney Springs. It's going to be busy, not quite stop and go, but we are looking at stop and go delays starting from Polk County heading into Champions Gate. Give yourself an extra 10 minutes in the eastbound side of I-4 through there. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
Many people in Florida have cleaned up and moved on after Hurricane Irma, but there's still a lot left to be done, especially in the Florida Keys. That's where we find Spectrum News 13's Beth Bruce-Wall with a look at the damage in one hard-hit neighborhood.
Hurricane Irma came right through here. This is Cutjo Key, and ironically, the name of this neighborhood is called Venture Out. So this is what we did. We ventured out in this neighborhood trying to look at all the damage, and you see piles of people's belongings. It's so sad because everything they've worked so hard for, as you have, is now gone forever. The rebuilding continues, and that is the big question tonight. How fast can the debris be moved out of here? And not just in the Keys, greatly impacted, but all across Central Florida. And that's why we decided to travel all the way down to the Keys to tell the personal stories of how folks are dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Irma across the state of Florida. Projected damage to cost about $150 to $200 billion. Stay with us Tuesday night, live at 6 p.m., a 1-hour special. We hope that you join us then here with the very latest from Cutjo Key. Back to you.
Thanks, Beth. Again, you can watch Hurricane Irma, Your Stories, live from the Florida Keys tonight at 6 o'clock, right here on Spectrum News 13. After Hurricane Maria, many families are leaving Puerto Rico, and that's bringing more school-age children to our area. In Osceola County, 345 new students have enrolled as a result of Hurricane Harvey, Irma, and Maria. Of that number, 268 came from Puerto Rico. Osceola County schools say that they will be checking in on these families to make sure that they have adjusted to their new setting. Many Puerto Rican parents are looking for help to enroll their kids in school.
I feel like my kids got behind in their classes because they couldn't really attend school in Puerto Rico. I don't want any more delays, and I want them to start soon so they don't become affected.
A school district board member wrote a letter to the governor asking for relief in funding and staffing due to the influx. Other districts are also starting to see an influx of Puerto Rican students. Volusia County has received 53 students and 55 in Lake County. Seminole County says they've received 42 students, and it's up to 80 so far in Brevard County, but that number includes all students displaced because of a hurricane. And we've also checked with other local districts, and we're waiting to receive those numbers. The number of Puerto Ricans coming to Florida could also play a powerful role in next year's elections. U.S. Senator Bill Nelson is promising to aggressively register the new Puerto Ricans to vote right here in Florida. Nelson faces a tough race, possibly against Governor Rick Scott. Puerto Rican voters lean Democratic, and strategists say that could impact the race.
I don't think it'll be as many as 500,000. But again, even if 100,000 or 150,000 come, the impact on the election could be a net positive of 30 or 40,000 votes for the Democrats if the party registered voters.
Republicans' numbers are growing as well, and that might balance out any boost Puerto Rican voters might give Democrats. Governor Rick Scott declared a state of emergency ahead of white nationalist Richard Spencer's speech at the University of Florida on Thursday. In an executive order, Governor Scott warned the threat of a potential emergency is imminent in Alachua County, where Spencer is expected to speak. Now, Spencer took part in a rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, which turned into deadly protests 2 months ago. The governor is activating the Florida National Guard to help with security if needed. And some are calling on school officials to reverse that decision regarding Spencer. Dozens of protesters were at the University of Florida yesterday outside for hours, and they could be outside even longer in the coming days. But right now, safety rules don't allow even water bottles during the protests.
Request that you significantly restrict the prohibited items list to only include items that provide a clear danger to members of the community.
So far, the university has not changed the prohibited items list. The organizers of the No Nazis on Campus group says while it isn't calling for violence, they'll support protesters if they need to fight back in self-defense. Spectrum News 13 will be there, and we'll have coverage later this week. President Trump has blamed Cuba's government for mysterious attacks that sickened at least 22 U.S. diplomats and family members in Havana. Investigators are examining as many as 50 attacks that may have involved some type of acoustic device. Now, diplomats began complaining of strange sounds at night in their hotel rooms or homes, specifically the sounds of loud insects or metal dragging that left them with nausea, dizziness, and headaches.
I do believe Cuba is responsible. I do believe that, and it's a very unusual attack, as you know, but I do believe Cuba is responsible.
Experts say a sophisticated device would be needed to create sound waves capable of damaging health. Now, Cuban officials have denied any involvement. A major meeting will take place in Tallahassee today. Spectrum News 13 Capitol reporter Troy Kinsey tells us why the governor plans to talk with his entire cabinet.
Today, Governor Rick Scott and the Florida cabinet are getting together for the first time in a couple of months, and boy, do they have a lot to talk about, namely Hurricane Irma. The storm's proving to be quite costly in a number of ways, but today the focus will be principally on the cost of insurance. So far, $4.9 billion worth of Irma claims have been filed. That's a big figure, and the insurance commissioner will give the cabinet an update on just how bad the picture might get from here on out. The good news, it doesn't appear the storm will wipe out the state's catastrophe fund. Whenever that happens, insurers begin charging every policyholder in the state a hurricane assessment fee like the kind we had to pay after those disastrous 2004 and 2005 hurricane seasons. In Tallahassee, I'm Troy Kinsey.
3 new cruise ship terminals could be coming to Port Canaveral. Now, the port officials, they say that they will increase tourism and allow more cruise ship access. Now, in addition to the terminals, there's a 30-year plan to build an inlet that would lead to a man-made harbor. Now, there might be new restaurants, a new park, a commercial fishing village, and a conference center. But some residents say it might be too much.
In my mind, growth is not a bad thing. However, we got to grow with conscience and grow with smart thinking. And some of this stuff is really good. Some of it's kind of a little ambitious in my mind.
Project developers hope these upgrades will also make ground transportation and parking easier for visitors. The project would cost more than $2.5 billion.
Good Tuesday morning, 8:39, your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. We are tracking a wreck for you in Sumter County along the I-75 corridor. If you're traveling northbound, very close to Bushnell, we're tracking a wreck there. Looks like an overturned vehicle in that median, and we're blocking 2 left lanes there, so watch out for some delays in that specific area. Looks like it was raining there earlier, but not right now, so that's at least good news there. We are looking at some rain still falling, as Maureen McCann can attest to right now in southern Orange County, and it looks like portions of Osceola County still as well. And we do still have some busy roadways, including Florida's Turnpike on the northbound side coming up from 192 in Kissimmee past State 417. That area is busy. And then the eastbound side, we're dealing with the pocket that continues to form near the Disney attractions area, essentially almost back to 192 through State 535. A couple of miles of busy traffic, nothing quite stop and go, but give yourself an extra 5 minutes travel time, and that's where travels are taking you closer towards Disney Springs. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
Hi everyone, meteorologist Maureen McCann here at 41 minutes past the hour. This is the time we always talk about your travel weather, and travel was definitely impacted the first part of the day with showers. A lot of the rain fell during the overnight hours, but there will be some additional rain off and on throughout the day. A lot of cloud cover too lingering, like we see on the FBC Mortgage weather cam. Today, rain chance around 60%. When it's not raining, you'll find those mostly cloudy skies and breezy conditions with upper 70s and low 80s on the way for the afternoon. Some places may get heavier rain than others. This morning, a lot of the heavy rain was confined to the coast, especially in and around northern Volusia and southeastern Flagler counties, where some of the rainfall estimates on Storm Tracker 13 were over an inch, if not between a half an inch and a quarter of an inch by Daytona Beach, Holly Hill, and Ormond Beach. That's the type of weather we may see with some heavier pockets off and on throughout the afternoon. This is all as our front pushes to the south, but behind it there's still a lot of lingering moisture, and we're going to get onshore winds that will strengthen, helping to enhance the coverage of showers coming in off the Atlantic. Expanding the view, travel weather actually looks pretty good for much of the lower 48, the exception being some showers over the UP and Michigan, and also in the Pacific Northwest where they have some rain. Still dry for California, where the fire situation continues to unfold. Maybe you're drawn to that low that's seen out over the water. Not going to be a threat to us. I'm going to talk about it, though, coming up with your tropical update at 51 past. It has very low likelihood of further development. National highs across the United States, nearly 100 in Phoenix, 50s in Seattle. But look at the contrast in Florida. Jacksonville 73, Miami 87. You can tell there's a front coming through, and that may slow things down at the airports, but so far we've been in pretty good shape. So are all of these other major hubs. 82 degrees with your forecast and riding, a little bit cooler than where we've been lately with off and on showers. Those will continue into tonight, especially at the coast, and also throughout the day on Wednesday. Back again with more weather on the ones in less than 10 minutes. Right now, Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Could we see Tiger Woods tee up again soon? What the 14-time major champion's agent is saying about his future. That's coming up next here on Spectrum News 13.
Thank you. You're watching Central Florida's only 24-hour news channel, Spectrum News 13. News, weather now, exclusively on Spectrum.
Spectrum News 13 is brought to you by Hudson's Furniture.
Save time by conveniently paying your bill each month with AutoPay. Simply go to spectrum.net/enroll now and sign in. Then click on AutoPay. Using your debit or credit card, or your checking account or savings account. Keep in mind, AutoPay will activate after your next statement, so make sure your current balance is up to date. Enroll today at spectrum.net/enroll now.
Hyundai has an all-wheel drive SUV for every stage of your life. Urban adventure? That's Tucson. Taking that next step? Check out the Santa Fe Sport. Full-time chauffeuring? Your 7-passenger Santa Fe awaits. And with America's best warranty, whichever stage you're in.
You just saved me from getting a minivan. Give him some love.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. Get a Santa Fe Sport for $129 a month, or get up to $6,000 total savings, plus 2-year or 24,000-mile complimentary maintenance. Hurry in today.
In 1950, Lee and Rick opened their famous oyster bar and has become the place you were looking to find. Today, Lee and Rick's family continues a legacy at the oldest operating seafood restaurant in Orlando. Saddle up to their famous 80-foot oyster bar for an out-of-this-world meal. Enjoy seafood favorites like shrimp, clams, mussels, snow crab legs, fresh oysters, and more. Lee and Rick's Oyster Bar, the place locals go for fresh, delicious oysters.
I'm John Overchuck with the Overchuck Law Firm. I want to take a second and thank Orlando for putting their faith in us for the past 15 years. This support has allowed us to recover over $17 million so far this year for our clients. So if you've been involved in a car, truck, motorcycle, or any type of accident, let us put our experience to work for you. And as always, we care enough to come to you.
When you're on the go, watch Spectrum News 13 anywhere with the Spectrum TV app. Download now, then watch Spectrum News 13 instantly on your device.
Tiger Woods has been medically cleared to play golf and practice with no restrictions, according to his agent. Meanwhile, UCF is the only team in FBS college football averaging more than 50 points per game. But can the Knights keep it up against one of the toughest teams on their schedule, the Navy midshipmen? Scott Frost knows that 5-1 Navy won't give UCF anything easy.
You know, they beat people because they play harder than people and they're smarter than people. And I want our guys to play harder than them and be smarter. And that's a challenge for us, so we're going to have to prepare for it this week.
Kickoff Saturday in Annapolis is set for 3:30. I'm Rishi Barron, and that's your Toyota Sports Minute here on Spectrum News 13.
The University of Louisville officially fired men's basketball coach Rick Pitino yesterday. This comes amid a federal college basketball fraud and corruption investigation. The FBI is looking into whether recruits were paid to attend specific schools. Pitino's attorney, Steve Pence, made his case for why the Hall of Fame coach should keep his job, but in the end, there was a unanimous vote to fire Pitino. He was head coach at Louisville for 16 seasons. Our county-by-county coverage continues now in Volusia County. If you applied for the Housing Choice Voucher Program, you're being asked to update your information. Verification forms were mailed to those on the waiting list, and applicants must complete and return the form by Friday, October 27th. Now, if you don't, you will be removed from the list. And in Orange County, pedicabs along International Drive could soon see some big changes. Orange County commissioners are scheduled to discuss regulations of pedicab operations today. The proposal creates a more robust permit system, establishes who can drive, what they can drive and where, plus sets some ground rules for safety. Orange County leaders will send the Comfort Quilt to Las Vegas this week in a show of support after the October 1st mass shooting there. The quilt was given to Orange County after the Pulse nightclub shooting. It was a gift from San Bernardino, California, where there was a mass shooting in December of 2015. The quilt was originally created by first graders in Ohio after the 9/11 terror attacks.
The deadline for college applications is fast approaching. I'm Angie Moreski. In today's ConsumerWise report, we'll have last-minute tips for students and parents to help make sure you get into your dream school. Stay with us.
Don't lose your head over low trade offers. We want your scary trade, even if you owe more than it's worth. Drive home a new 2017 Kia Soul, starting as low as $13,499. Plus, make no payments until next year, only at Orlando Kia.
For accurate weather updates, follow the weather experts on Twitter at MyNews13Weather. Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum. Friday night, a pair of playoff hopefuls are looking to control their postseason destiny. Only on Spectrum Sports. The Rams are undefeated in their district and sprinting toward the postseason.
Seeking the end zone. Does he have enough?
While the Titans are relying on their top prospect for a playoff run.
The first play is an 87-yard touchdown.
Lake Mary, Orange City University. Live Friday night at 7:30 only on Spectrum Sports. Home of high school sports. Exclusively on Spectrum.
Head to your local Hyundai dealer for some incredible savings. Now for 0% APR plus $500 bonus cash. It's packed with features like blind spot detection with rear cross traffic alert and a class exclusive hands-free smart trunk. You won't find that on an Accord or Camry.
Do you like it?
Is that even a question?
All backed by America's best warranty.
This just feels better.
Better is the reason to buy Hyundai. Now get a 2018 Sonata for $159 a month or buy with 0% APR for 60 months plus $500 bonus cash. Hurry in today.
Jim waited his whole life to buy this car, and thanks to Orlando Federal Credit Union, his dream came true. You see, the dealership made it easy to drive away in the car he wanted, but the financing, not so great. Orlando Federal Credit Union helped Jim refinance his car, and for $50 less a month. So now Jim has a little extra gas money to take his best girl out for a joyride. Apply today. Orlando Federal Credit Union, because you're more than just money to us.
So glad you could join us.
Get your news weather now. Follow us on Twitter, Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
Don't lose your head over low trade offers. We want your scary trade, even if you owe more than it's worth. Drive home a new 2017 Kia Soul, starting as low as $13,499. Plus, make no payments until next year. Only at Orlando Kia.
We're finding a much quieter scene in the tropics as we take you to your tropical update here at 51 minutes past the hour. No name systems right now. Nothing that is looking concerning. Definitely not for the United States. But on satellite, we can still see what's left of Ophelia as it pulls away from Ireland. I'll show you that in a moment. There's another weak area of low pressure near Bermuda. That will cause some rain and wind there, but nothing that is looking alarming at this time. You can see that circulation as it moves into the northern latitudes away from Scotland, Ireland, and England. And it's still going to be windy behind this system, but if you're traveling to this part of Europe, things are definitely looking a lot better compared to 24 hours ago. The rest of the Atlantic basin, no signs of tropical development right now. Even that weak low that was flagged for development to the north of the Turks and Caicos yesterday, it has pushed a little bit more to the north. There's Bermuda. It is not looking very concerning because it's going to link up at the front, and that's going to help usher it out to sea, but it's still going to be rain and wind for Bermuda if you have travel plans there. Back here at home, travel plans locally will involve some umbrellas and having some backup plans to stay inside because of periodic rain, especially over the southern part of the state today as that front pushes southward. And still see a lot of moisture along this boundary, and as onshore flow develops behind it, it'll create periodic showers for us today. It's not going to be a washout. There will be some times when you just have the clouds overhead, maybe no rain, but there will be ample moisture sticking around through tomorrow. You can see how that comes in with the north-northeasterly flow into central Florida. But Thursday, a pocket of drier air settles in to the north of I-4. Thursday, Friday, even into Saturday, we'll get some lower rain chances briefly before they come up again in your extended forecast, which you will see coming up in your 7-day outlook. Let's show you your Spectrum Sports Game of the Week forecast first. Talking about Friday night football. Weather looks good for that. Pretty quiet, dry, 77 degrees for that 7:30 kickoff. You can catch all the action on Spectrum Sports. Locally today, we'll be on either side of 80 with unsettled weather, breezy north-northeasterly winds. Temperatures in the 70s for Ocala, Palm Coast, and Daytona Beach, but low 80s along and to the south of I-4. Rain chances today up around 60%. We'll drop them a bit tomorrow, but there will be that onshore flow keeping things pretty breezy even through Thursday. Average high this time of the year was now 84 degrees. So actually today and tomorrow will be a little bit below average, and we climb up again to the upper 80s. If you like the warmth, it'll be here through the weekend. At that point, we'll also reintroduce some rain chances on Sunday and Monday. Stay with us for our next check of weather on the ones. I'll be back in less than 10 minutes. But right now, let's get a live look at Storm Tracker 13 Doppler radar.
Good Tuesday morning, 8:54, your current time. I'm Ryan Harper with a check of your real-time traffic. And take a look at this particular camera here. A rollover accident. Looks like multiple vehicles were involved. Looks like possibly a tractor trailer there as well in the middle of your screen. Multiple lanes as of right now are currently blocked. This is actually Sumter County along I-75, very close to Bushnell. We're looking at multiple miles of delays. Again, it's going to be on the northbound side. The southbound side not really affected. Seeing delays back to County Road 476. So be on the lookout for that. That's where your travelers are taking you. No rain falling in that specific area right now, but that does not mean we are without rain in Central Florida. You can see some of that in southern Orange County, Osceola County as well. Some of the roadways are going to be affected. Still a busy day along Florida's Turnpike northbound. Still seeing delays coming up from Kissimmee past State Road 417. That's about 3 to 4 miles of significant traffic, plus some rain continues to fall in the area as well. This update brought to you by Mullinax Ford.
The deadline for college applications is approaching, and it can be a stressful time for many high school seniors. In today's ConsumerWise report, Angie Moreski has last-minute tips on how to help increase the odds of getting into that dream school.
Tonight you're applying to UNC.
University of North Carolina is high school senior Jade Starkey's dream school, and she's just about ready to apply.
It's stressful at first because you don't know where to start, but once you have a starting point and get through it and hit the submit button, it's definitely a lot better.
They will grade your academics, they will grade your activities.
Harvard grad and longtime alumni interviewer Bob Levine coaches students on what schools look for.
SAT and ACT scores matter a lot with public universities. In fact, they almost matter everything with public universities. With private schools, they are part of an overall holistic evaluation.
It is important to be realistic and pick schools that fit your range of ability. Before you apply, do a quick online search to check out the school's SAT, ACT, and GPA score ranges. If you meet the threshold, your odds of getting in are better. If you don't, it doesn't mean you won't get in, but it's a longer shot.
Your essay, I think, turned out great.
The essay is important to differentiate yourself and paint a picture of who you are.
I'm like a people's person. I kind of centered my essay around that and found stories from my life that exemplify that.
What not to do?
Number 1, don't recite your resume. Number 2, I call it the big D. Don't be a downer.
Final tip before you hit submit to that dream school, reread your entire application. The last thing you want is a misspelling or even worse, cutting and pasting an essay with another school's name in it. Don't make that mistake, so pay attention to detail and good luck. I'm Angie Moreski. It pays to be consumer wise.
For more tips on what makes a good essay and what exactly is considered a good SAT score, head over to our website at mynews13.com and click on the ConsumerWise story. Ahead in our next half hour, one of the Winter Park teens charged in the death of another teen is now facing new charges as an adult. The latest developments. Plus, a cold front is expected through Central Florida. What it means for your afternoon, that's coming up in your Weather on the Ones. You're watching Spectrum News 13.
Getting a divorce can be a difficult decision and put a lot of stress on your family.
In times like these, just know that our family is here to help your family.
The DeWitt Law Firm. We listen, we care. We're dedicated to you.
Closed captioning is brought to you by New Teeth Now. In only one day, New Teeth Now can change your life with a new smile. We treat patients others turn away.
You're driving along and then it happens. You get hurt in a car accident. After your accident, we make things easy for you. Let me tell you what I mean by that. Is the practice of law easy? No. But is letting us take care of the hassles, the phone calls, the paperwork easy? Yes. That's our job. We make it easy for you.
After your accident, make it easy. Call Rubenstein Law. They handle the hassle so you don't have to.
I'm attorney Robert Rubenstein. Call me. I want to be your attorney.
Call 1-800-FL-LEGAL.
Closeout prices are on till the last 17 is gone. It's the year-end closeout at Peacock Ford. Peacock Ford, formerly Don Reed Ford, now just bigger and better. New 2017 F-150. Closeout discounts up to $13,000 off MSRP. New 2017 Explorer, Escape, Fusion, Focus. Closeout prices and payments now $139 a month. Closeout prices, closeout discounts, closeout payments today. The year-end closeout at Peacock Ford in Maitland Winter Park or peacockford.com. Peacock Ford, we make Fords affordable.
Here they are.
That was easy, see?
Oh, seriously?
Hands out, please. Oh, hold on.
There are some places where devices just don't belong. Device-free dinner, a common sense idea from Common Sense Media.
Faster warnings, accurate forecasts. Storm Tracker 13, part of the largest Doppler radar network in the Southeast. Only on Spectrum News 13, exclusively on Spectrum.
In a divorce, there are no winners, but with the wrong representation, there can be some serious losers.
To us, every case is personal, and we don't like to lose.
The DeWitt Law Firm.